Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Chris. I've been in the IT field for over 20 years. Today's video is going to be a little different. We're going to take an older MacBook Pro 2012 and we're going to install Linux Mint 22.3. I'll share all the steps that you need to get Wi-Fi working, make sure your graphics drivers are working properly, and then I'll show you how to install software in Linux. So to start, we'll just scroll down here. We'll download the Cinnamon edition. And I'll just pick a mirror that normally downloads pretty quick. And then while that's downloading, let's go ahead. We'll get Fedora Media Writer, and it takes a special version for this MacBook Pro 2012. I had to go down to 5.0.6, so I'll include the link to get here in the description. But I'm just going to go ahead and download that as well. And then once these complete, I'll come back and I'll show you how to put this ISO on a USB stick. Okay, our download did finish, so now I'm just going to go ahead and open up the Fedora Media Writer, and I'm going to go ahead and plug in my USB stick, and then I'm going to ignore this. This is basically saying, I've already got Linux Mint on it. It's basically saying that it doesn't recognize it. It's going to say the same thing once we get done. So here's Fedora Media Writer. Select the ISO, click on Write, put in your password. To get to the boot menu on a Mac, you need to hold down the Option key while you're booting up the machine. Yeah, here's that same message. You can just ignore that. Click Finish. All right, now I'm going to shut down and I will meet you at the installer. Okay, we made it to the installer, so now I'm just going to go ahead and install Linux Mint. Select your language, hit Continue. Keyboard layout, English. Go ahead and install the multimedia codecs. We're going to erase the disk and install Linux Mint. Click Install Now. Click Continue. Pick your time zone. Continue. Set up your user and your password. Click Continue. And then I'll speed this portion up. Okay, and the install did complete. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut down and I will rejoin you at the first login. All right, and we've made it to the first boot. So we see Welcome to Linux Mint. Let's go. I'm going to go into the desktop colors real quick. And let's switch to dark and green. And then Driver Manager. You'll notice during the install, so we're still using our wired connection. That's because there's a problem with the Broadcom chip that's inside the MacBook Pro 2012. So we're going to go in here, the Driver Manager, and it should detect that for us and get the driver and install it. And it does, so we'll just highlight that and hit Apply. Type in your password. Okay, and then to apply those changes, we need to restart, but I'm just going to hit the X on that for now, as well as the welcome screen. And in the system tray, you'll see we do have updates that need to be installed, so I'm just going to go ahead and install those. And then once these updates complete, then I'll do a restart, and our wireless will be working, and then we'll have all the Linux Mint updates. All right, it does look like the software update's finished. Looks like we got an error message here, but I believe we can just ignore that. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a reboot, and let's see if our wireless drivers start working. And we've made it back after the reboot, and you can see our wireless is working. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna right click, go to Change Desktop Background. I'm gonna make that green. And then I'm gonna go to Time and Date, and I'm gonna unselect 24 hours because I want the AM PM to show. And then next, let's go ahead and pull up the terminal and let's do a Neofetch. You can see we're running Linux Mint 22.3 on our MacBook Pro, Linux kernel 6.14, just under 2,000 Debian packages. The shell is Bash 5.2.21. Desktop environment is Cinnamon 6.6.7. Windows Manager is Mutter. It's showing our Intel CPU, and it switches between the dedicated GeForce GT 650M and the Intel GPU. We're using 1.4 gigs out of our 16, and that's just a quick look at our Neofetch. All right, let's take a look at System Monitor. Shows our processes, our resources, and this CPU is getting pegged right now because I'm running OBS to record this video. So CPU is typically between 5 and 10% sitting here idle, and memory is about 1.3 out of our 16. And then you've got your file system. All right, let's take a look at system settings. And to get more details on the system, we can look at system information. It's going to give us our computer, operating system, Linux kernel 6.14, our processor, our video card, how much memory we've got, the size of our hard drive, the desktop environment, and the display server, our USB buses, more details on the GPUs, the PCI devices that we've got, our BIOS details, system reports. This is wanting us to set up a restore. I'm just going to ignore that for now, and any crash reports we may have. All right, now I'm going to show you how to install software. If you're coming from Mac, you're used to having the Apple Store. So in Linux Mint, it's just called Software Manager. So we're going to go in there. And let's say you want to replace the Firefox browser with Brave. So we'll just search for Brave, click on it, click on Install, and then Launch. And you can see we've got the Brave browser. If you wanted to pin this to the bottom, you just right click, pin to panel, and then click and hold, drag it over where you want, and then you can unpin the Firefox. And now we've got Brave. You can set that as our default browser. Go dark, uncheck the telemetry, and click finish. Now you've got Brave. So if you wanted to make that even cleaner, you could go into the terminal and we can remove, we'll go app to remove, Firefox for wildcard, put in your password. And this is telling us we're going to free up 316 meg by uninstalling Firefox. Go ahead and press enter. Okay, go ahead and close that. And now when we search for Firefox, you can see that it is gone. In my next video, I'm going to put out a Linux Mint tips and tricks for 2026. But until then, here are some other videos you may find helpful. If you found any value out of this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.